Hi, my name is Scott Gibson with Beneath the Surface. I'm here with Lawrence Roulston of Resource Opportunities. Lawrence, thanks for being with us.
Hi Scott, great to be here. Always enjoyable talking about junior mining stocks.
Yeah, and let's sort of get into that. Talk a little bit about the resurgence in the market, really coming off the lows in the gold price in June, and how are things looking now for you?
Well, absolutely. The market, well, I wouldn't go as far as to say the market has rebounded, but certainly in particular stocks, select stocks within the sector, there's been a big turnaround. You know, 4 of the companies that we follow in the newsletter have already doubled from their lows. And any number of them are up 20, 30, 40% from the lows. So we're seeing a very significant rebound. Not across the board yet. If you look at the indexes are more or less flat. But particular companies, the good quality companies, the companies that have got, you know, management, some money in the bank, a good project, they're definitely money coming into the sector and is going into those kind of companies.
And is that the company to be looking at right now, those types that have already rebounded 100% and have the strong fundamentals, or is there another layer that you're looking at, or both?
Well, both. And in fact, the ones that have rebounded the strongest are perhaps still, in many ways, the best value. Those are the companies that have projects or management or cash that have attracted attention.
Or all three.
Or all three, and many of them, or some of them, might perhaps be, you know, the easy money has been made, let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. But there's still potential for doubles and triples in these things in the not too distant future. But look, these are the companies that have made a discovery. They've got a project that has, if they don't have a resource, they've got enough drilling on it so that you can put your arms around it and see that there is something there of tangible size and grade. Yeah. Look, the early stage exploration stuff is a ways out in the future. It's going to be some time before those kind of companies rebound. Mm-hmm.
And so what is sort of the focus of your publication right now? What are you saying to your subscribers in terms of where they should be allocating their cash?
Well, I'm looking at these kind of companies that are either small producers, they're close to being in production, ones that are takeover candidates. That means they've got a project at feasibility or near feasibility. It's got to be in a good jurisdiction, and it has to have size or size potential. You know, we're talking about the larger companies making takeovers as the ideal exit strategy.
Nice. And where do you think the markets are going from here? We've had a nice rebound since June. We're sitting here in September. Is this going to continue? Short-term, medium-term, long-term outlooks?
Well, again, we really need to differentiate between markets and companies more than at any other time that I've seen in all the time I've been in this industry. The markets haven't really begun to recover yet, and they may not. Individual companies doing very well, absolutely. There's going to be a lot more rebound to come. You know, we're seeing these kind of rebounds over the quiet summer period. Mm-hmm. And as we get into September, I mean, any number of people that I'm talking to are saying, can't wait to get back from holidays, I want to get into it, I understand things are picking up. And it's not just the players that know the industry that are really active right now, which is a large part of it, mm-hmm. but there's new money coming in. You know, I've been approached by private equity groups in the US, for example, people that haven't been in this sector in some cases for decades or at all, that are looking at the incredible value premise in a company with a good sized metal deposit trading at more or less cash value. Mm-hmm. You know, it's hard to ignore that kind of value premise. These guys are coming in, they've got big checkbooks, they're extraordinarily selective, but they're looking and in due course they'll be making moves.
And they're making selective moves just like you're talking about, looking for those premium companies. And like you say, you can't really look at the overall market, but the driving factor for a lot of people is the gold price. But what you've said a lot in the past is that doesn't even matter so much. What's your take on gold? That really, are we looking at the quality companies out here that are going to do well regardless? Or are we counting on the gold price moving up?
I'm not counting on the gold price moving higher. You know, in my heart, I believe the gold price is going to go a lot higher. Mm-hmm. But when I put my analyst hat on, a company's got to make absolute perfect sense at the current gold price. And if it does, and you can make money at that, and the gold price does indeed go higher, then you're getting a double payoff. So that's really the focus, is looking long and hard at the fundamentals of the company, looking for companies with projects where they're adding value. And if you get a bump at the same in the price at the same time, that's even better. Mm-hmm.
What are some of the companies that fit this criteria that you're looking at right now that you care to mention?
Well, as you know, I don't like to talk about companies in a public forum. My publication is entirely subscriber supported, and that's what my subscribers are paying me for. So.
And your subscribers are paying you for that, but you will be at the Toronto Resource Investment Conference, the Cambridge House Conference, here in September. Do you want to talk a little bit about that conference and what you're going to be doing there?
Well, yes, at the conference I'll be giving an overview of the market. I'll be doing a subscriber workshop session in which we will be talking in some detail about the companies. And there will be a public workshop session where I'll be giving examples of how to look at and evaluate companies. But you know, I really want to say, and I'm not here just to plug the conference, but I really have to say these conferences are incredibly important for investors because you get a really convenient, practical opportunity to meet with management and the technical people from a large number of companies all in one place at one time. It's just a tremendous venue for investors to do the kind of due diligence that's needed. You know, I would never invest in a company, I would never recommend a company where I haven't been face-to-face with management. And I know for a typical investor it's not always practical to do that, but conferences like, you know, the Cambridge conference in Toronto are an opportunity to get about as close as you can to doing that hands-on due diligence, meet management, look them in the eye, ask tough questions. So I would highly encourage investors that have any interest in this sector to take advantage of that conference and others that are coming up in the fall.
And it's free to attend. It's Thursday, Friday, September 12th, 13th at the Sheraton Hotel. They can come down and they can talk with you, meet with you, ask you questions.
And I'll be there, and I'm glad to talk to investors at any time about companies, the market, or whatever else.
Thanks very much, Lawrence. Really appreciate your time.
I always enjoy talking about markets.
Again, that's Lawrence Roulston, Resource Opportunities. My name is Scott Gibson with Beneath the Surface. Thanks for being with us.